John and Bob are 30-something-year-old married teachers from New York. They met 3 years ago, fell in love, and decided to get married. Desperate to have a baby, they spent over a year doing research online about their options, including adoption, surrogacy, and gay men having babies. The information that came back made them sad and depressed. They discovered that many adoption agencies would not even work with them. USA surrogacy costs around $150,000, and even if they could raise the money, a lot of surrogacy agencies didn't want to work with gay couples. Anyway, $150,000 was way out of their budget. But John and Bob were persistent and were not going to give up. Finally, on further research, they found us at www.surrogacyforall.com. At Surrogacy for All, we offer low-cost surrogacy, and we are LGBT-friendly. We offer 2 surrogacy options. First option is surrogacy in the USA, in California, where the surrogacy laws are very friendly to LGBT couples, for $105,000 compared to $150,000 at other agencies. But sadly, even $105,000 was still out of John and Bob's budget. Second option is surrogacy overseas, where the surrogacy laws are very friendly to LGBT couples for $39,000 compared to $150,000 at other agencies. Our second option, however, got a big yes. John and Bob were overjoyed. They jumped up and hugged each other. Our overseas surrogacy option was within their budget. Note, our overseas surrogacy option is not a cheap IVF clinic in a slum. It is a luxury new major medical center of quality equal to or better than many USA IVF clinics. The facilities are designed to function to FDA standards. In fact, the physician who you will work with was trained at the University of Michigan, and everything is done to US FDA specifications. The facilities are a state-of-the-art specialist award-winning 30,000 square feet IVF hospital primarily focused on the provision of world-class infertility treatment services. John and Bob quickly came into our New York office at 1148 Fifth Avenue and filled out all required paperwork with Dr. Vijaya. They also needed embryos and were given the option of creating their own embryos in the USA or having them created overseas at a lower cost. Surrogacy for All, through our affiliated egg donor agency, www.indianeggdonors.com, has available over 1,000 egg donors and frozen eggs from all nationalities for your needs. John and Bob decided to go with the lower cost option by choosing frozen eggs from one of our US Caucasian egg donors and sending them, together with their frozen sperm, to our overseas surrogacy center for creating embryos overseas. They received positive updates from the clinic every month, were delighted that everything was going fine, and waited impatiently for their baby to be born. Exactly 9 months later, John and Bob flew overseas to pick up their bundle of joy. They arrived the day before, were met at the airport by a smiling representative from the IVF clinic, and were escorted to the nearby Marriott Hotel to settle in after their flight. The next day, their baby girl was born. They picked up the baby, and John and Bob were overcome with joy and happiness. They looked at their baby girl with tears in their eyes. They could not believe they were now parents. As the next step, John gave a blood sample for a DNA test to make sure the baby was his and matched the baby's DNA. The samples were sent to the local DNA testing lab for comparison. They matched perfectly. The next day, they were met by their local attorney who helped them complete all their paperwork. Once this was done, a representative from the law firm escorted them with the necessary forms to the American Embassy. Everything was perfect. A US passport was issued for their baby girl, and John and Bob were free to bring their baby girl back to the USA as an American citizen. They took the next flight back to New York, and are now proud parents of a beautiful baby daughter, named Anne. Surrogacy for All would love to offer you the same opportunities for low-cost surrogacy, US or overseas. Now, everyone can have a baby. As the next step, please call Dr. Vijaya at 212-661-717177 or 917-601-4919 to make a personal or phone appointment today.